Welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I'm Brooke Allen. This is episode 8 and 2024. Wow. We are pre-recorded so we can tailgate and watch the Maize and Blue face the Crimson Tide in the Rose Bowl today. Of course, go Blue. Well, this is our last episode at the beautiful Tuscan Cafe in downtown Northville. Of course, a big thank you to Will and his team. Well, since it is coffee of the day to start the new year off right, I am drinking a triple iced espresso, one of my favorite drinks. So that is what coffee of the day is today. Well, we are getting into the winter months, and this happens to be one of the hardest times for seniors. And this is our halfway to 100 segment, and our next guest, Elisa Tobias, you have dedicated your life's work to advocating for seniors.
I sure have.
And, I know you were close to your grandmother, and that's kind of what started all of this for you. And that's why you're so passionate. I was also very close to my grandparents. I actually called them mom and dad. That's how close I was. So I get the care and wanting to raise the profile, or wanting to raise the questions that people have, right? Because they don't have resources.
That's the biggest problem, is that people do not have resources in the aging community, and we kind of forget about them with everything else going on in the universe. And the fact of the matter is, this is the greatest generation that ever lived, and we need to be here to take care of them and provide resources for families, for them, and anyone out there who is taking care of a loved one who's aging.
And it's so hard for both. It's hard for the elderly loved one. It's also hard for the caregiver, right?
It's a family thing.
It is.
Once you age, it's not just you. It's everybody in the family, and how you kind of anticipate that journey is you do it together.
Right, and if you don't do it together,
it's a big problem. That's the biggest thing going on in the winter with our seniors. There's a lot of depression. A quarter of seniors have seasonal affect disorder, and people do not realize that because they're stuck in their homes. Most seniors will not go out the minute it hits 50 degrees because they're always cold and their heat's on 90. So there is depression. And what we do for that is we invite light into our apartments. We open our shades. We get people involved. It's really, truly important that someone who is aging feels loved and not forgotten. And that's a lot what happens not only around the holidays, but all winter long, because they're isolated. So there's a lot of things we, as family members, as a community, we can do to make that a better situation for them.
So what if an elderly loved one lives far away from their family?
That's great. So if they live far away from your family, and most seniors are not technologically savvy, myself included, and the flip phone doesn't really work for Zooming. So what I tell families to do is to set up an iPad, a very simple one, with their link with the Zoom, that they just have to push a button, and communication at least 3 times a week so you can see your family. That's one way. Yeah, they can talk on the phone, but visuals are so much more important. It
matters, right?
It's not what you look like, it's how we make people feel, and we want them to see our face, and that's what makes them. Most of my seniors have family living out of town, so they really need that connection for loneliness purposes.
Okay, so the Zoom links, what else can people do?
So the other thing people can do is exercise. It's really important to eat a nutritional diet. I know it sounds crazy when you're older like that, but everything affects the brain. It affects your heart. So eating healthy, exercising, but more importantly, staying connected with other seniors or your family, being involved. To be feeling like you mean something, it's to give back. So what I do is I encourage seniors to really get involved in activities, to volunteer with other seniors. So if I'm working with seniors that are very independent, I'm going to really educate them to work with seniors that maybe are a little cognitively impaired. It makes us all feel better, and it makes us feel like we have some worth.
And what's interesting too is I noticed with my grandparents, when they were isolated by themselves, before they moved to assisted living, that it was a whole different thing. But once they may have been kind of discombobulated with the new surroundings, but once they got settled and they were interacting with other people, it was night and day, the difference.
Because people don't understand. Seniors think of senior communities or senior living or anything like that as the home from what their grandparents lived in. But to live with other seniors is so enriching. believe me when I tell you, they're whooping it up and they're having a great time. They eat together, they sing together,
Nice.
they dance together.
Play bingo together?
Oh, bingo's really big, and don't mess with bingo because
right.
that's why I don't call bingo.
I tried to crash a bingo party one time. It did not go well.
They get there a half hour early, and you get your card with 75 in the corner always. I don't know why.
How does that happen, right? Okay, so how can people find these resources, and also how can people find you?
So they can find me on my website at Elisa J. Tobias at mswcdpllc.com.
Okay.
But there's also a link on that would probably be easier because we couldn't figure out how to do that. But my services go from meeting with families to navigating their journey to grief, the whole 9 yards. There isn't something I wouldn't be able to help or navigate with anyone going through the aging process or their family, because as I said, there's things that happen. We don't get to pick how we age, and we just have to go with it and be the best we can for our family.
And even caregivers, you have a ton of resources.
I have so many resources. I use great companies involved. I use a wonderful company called Care PRN. They are unbelievable. They have the same values and passion I do, and I want to work with people that feel the same way because, like I said, my grandmother had Alzheimer's. My parents had no money. It was really awful to see her like that, and I knew at a very young age this was my destiny. So I've been working in the geriatric field since I've been 20 years old.
Wow.
And I'm really not 20 anymore, as we can see. No, nothing can take that away.
Well, you're beautiful. Listen, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
This is so important to get out there and just to let people know that there's help available. They just have to find it, right, and know where to look.
It's so important, and if you need help, if you're a senior, if you're a family member, always reach out to someone. There is someone available. There's not enough of us in the geriatric field, but we're finding each other, and we're really empowering one another to help people. So I hope if you need help, just look for it. There are resources. There's the Alzheimer's Association. You can Google anything, and it will get you to the right place, and if not, you can Google me, and you can find me.
Okay, and again, this is Elisa
Thank
Tobias.
you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Coming up, we will, of course, talk about the #1 New Year's resolution. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I'm Brooke Allen. We'll be right back.
My Michigan TV is streaming everywhere on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and more smart TV apps. My Michigan TV is on your phone too. Take us with you wherever you go. Just search for My Michigan TV on your favorite app store or visit mymitv.com. On your TV, on your phone, on the web. All Michigan streaming everywhere. My Michigan TV.
Traverse City, where falling flakes give rise to wintry pursuits, like a daring descent down a black diamond run, or riding the rails at a local terrain park, a silent glide across glistening snow, or making first tracks in a remote pine forest. Then relaxing, at last, with a warm cup and good company as the fire crackles and the flakes keep falling. In Traverse City, life is better when you're in a pretty great place. Visit traversity.com.
Welcome back. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I'm Brooke Allen, and we are, of course, enjoying our last morning here at the Tuscan Cafe in downtown Northville. I am actually with Trent. He is part of our presenting sponsor, which is Alloy Personal Training in Rochester. And Trent, you are the director of training, and I have to say, we're grateful that you're our presenting sponsor, but also, I was actually in there last week doing a workout with you, and I could feel it a couple days later. So Alloy really is on. Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, why are my legs hurting? What is happening? But tell me about Alloy for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, so first we're located on the corner of Tinkin and Rochester Road, next to Hamlin Pub. We just started in June, so we're a new facility, but we've been doing this for a long time. What we do is personal training in small groups. So think maximum of 6 people, custom workouts. We really focus in on, free weights, to be honest. Now, what we do that makes us different than other gyms is we make sure that we're figuring out exactly where you need to start with exactly what program, and we customize everything to you. So it just depends on the person.
Well, it was interesting too is that, you know, I went through the little test, right? And so I went through the test, holding the stick behind my head, doing a few little exercises so you could kind of watch what was happening. And I mean, the results are interesting just because you're like, oh, well, you're off kilter or what's happening. And you pick that up immediately, and then you design the program specific to the person's needs.
Exactly. Everyone's body moves differently. So before anyone starts, what we do is we sit down one-on-one, and it usually takes about an hour, but we really just get through what exactly that person needs to do, what their body is like, and you know, it kind of just makes the process really personal.
And so, I mean, I know there's goals in mind, right? Of course, it's New Year's Day, so the number one goal is what? People to lose weight, right, for the new year?
That's very common, yeah.
But the whole thing, too, is that it's actually more than that. I mean, because if you're recovering from a sports injury or looking for more flexibility or want to increase your endurance, I mean, you guys can help with all that.
Right. So the first thing I ask everyone that walks in our door is, what's most important to you? Because if, you know, we can't assume. Sometimes it's weight loss. Sometimes it's literally just wanting to go about their day without any pain, and strength training can help with that.
And you did mention the smaller sessions, 6 people max, but what was also interesting to me is that everyone is doing their own thing in the same room.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, I mean, because you're not like, oh, what are they doing? What, you know, you're so focused on what you're doing, and you guys are right there coaching, you know, coaching everyone.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's just running around, ton of energy.
Right.
Everyone's doing different stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so at Alloy, what is your favorite exercise there?
My favorite exercise. So it's actually pretty funny. So what we do before we start the workout and doing the strength training is we warm up, and we do that in a group, and it's actually kind of a running joke. We do 90-90s almost every workout, and it's just because, like, you know what the society's like nowadays, we're always sitting like we are right now, right?
All right. You can stand if you want.
So we're working on the hips, trying to get them less tight almost every day.
Okay, so that's how you start.
Yeah.
And then, of course, ending, it's like a high five, and out the door people go.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how people get in touch with you and make that initial consultation.
Yeah, so the best way to figure out like how to get in contact with me is to just Google Alloy Personal Training. If you put in, you know, your zip code, you'll find out where the closest one is to you, and then the whole process of contacting us just goes through there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Well, you know what, like I said, it was awesome to actually work out with you and Michelle last week, and I really enjoyed it. And for anyone looking for a personal trainer and with a personal touch, really, check out Alloy Personal Training in Rochester. Thank you so much, Trent.
Thank you.
And of course, we want to say Happy New Year to everyone. We will be live next week from a brand new location. Have a great week. Happy New Year. And of course, keep that coffee hot. Okay, good.
Yeah.